The South China Sea is the world's most critical maritime crossroads, a vast expanse of water that connects nations, economies, and destinies. Trillions of dollars in global trade pass through these waters every year, making it a vital artery for the world economy. Every day, thousands of ships carry goods, energy, and resources between continents, fueling industries and livelihoods across the globe. Any disruption here sends shockwaves across continents, affecting everything from the price of electronics to the availability of food and fuel. But this sea is also a place of immense tension, a theater of geopolitical drama where rival powers test each other's resolve. China claims almost the entire sea, drawing a 9-dash line that sweeps deep into territory claimed by others, igniting disputes with neighboring countries. This is about more than water. It's about control, resources, and national pride. Beneath the waves lie rich fishing grounds and vast reserves of oil and gas, intensifying the competition. For smaller nations like the Philippines, this is an existential reality. Their fishing grounds, energy reserves, and sovereignty are at stake. Their way of life and even their future depends on what happens here. The United States steps in, not just as an observer, but as a key player with its own interests in regional stability and the rule of law. Its presence is both a reassurance and a warning. Old alliances are being tested and new partnerships are being forged as countries seek security in an uncertain environment. The waters of the South China Sea are warming, strategically and literally. Climate change adds another layer of urgency, threatening marine life and coastal communities. What happens here will define the security landscape of the 21st century, shaping the balance of power for generations to come. Will the future be governed by international rules or by the principle that might makes right? The answer will echo far beyond these shores. The stakes could not be higher. Every decision, every maneuver carries the weight of history. The destinies of nations near and far are intertwined in these contested waters, bound together by commerce, security, and hope. The world watches, knowing that what happens here will not stay here. The ripples from this sea will touch us all. Beneath the South China Sea lies a treasure of immense value: energy. Geologists believe billions of barrels of oil and trillions of cubic feet of natural gas are hidden below the seabed. For the Philippines, these resources could fuel economic growth and provide energy security. The Malampaya gas field is running dry, making new discoveries urgent. The United States sees this as a matter of global stability and economic fairness. When China blocks access, it undermines the principle that nations can exploit resources within their own exclusive economic zones. This shared interest in energy has become a central pillar of the U.S.-Philippines alliance. The Philippines needs expertise and security. The U.S. needs a reliable partner to uphold international law. Together, they're turning a strategic partnership into a resource-driven collaboration. The U.S. and the Philippines have deepened their alliance, building on decades of shared history and mutual interests in the region. This partnership is now being strengthened with concrete actions on both energy and defense, signaling a new era of cooperation. American companies are investing heavily in Philippine oil and gas fields, bringing not just capital but also advanced technology and expertise to boost local energy production. The U.S. is also supporting the Philippines' transition to renewable energy, helping to install solar panels and wind turbines across the country. In addition, the U.S. is backing the development of the Philippines' civilian nuclear program, aiming to diversify the nation's energy sources for a more sustainable future. On the military front, joint exercises like Balikatan have grown larger and more complex each year, now including live-fire drills, amphibious landings, and joint naval patrols in contested waters. U.S. forces are actively training their Filipino counterparts in modern maritime defense tactics, enhancing the Philippines' ability to protect its territorial waters. The Philippines has expanded U.S. access to its military bases, giving American forces strategic footholds close to the South China Sea, a region of growing tension. This expanded access allows for rapid crisis response and greater power projection throughout Southeast Asia. The combination of energy deals and military cooperation forms a comprehensive strategy, intertwining economic growth with national security. The U.S. and the Philippines are lashing their futures together, working closely to withstand pressure from their powerful neighbor and to ensure regional stability. Their partnership is now both practical and strategic, shaping the future of the Indo-Pacific region. Beijing sees the U.S.-Philippines alliance as a direct challenge to its ambitions. China considers the South China Sea its historical sphere of influence, crucial for security and national pride. The renewed American military presence in the Philippines alarms Beijing, who views U.S. bases as potential staging grounds for intervention. Joint patrols and energy cooperation are seen as attempts to legitimize Philippine claims and contain China. In response, China has militarized artificial islands and increased its Coast Guard presence, harassing Filipino vessels. Every move by the alliance is met with a counter-move, fueling a dangerous cycle of escalation. The region is now locked in a tense standoff, with each side determined not to back down. Tensions in the South China Sea are playing out in real time through dangerous encounters at sea. At 2nd Thomas Shoal, Filipino Marines on a grounded ship face constant harassment from Chinese Coast Guard vessels. Resupply missions are blocked, and water cannons are used to intimidate and endanger crews. At Scarborough Shoal, Filipino fishermen are chased away from traditional grounds. The Philippine Coast Guard now escorts fishing flotillas, leading to tense standoffs. China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia to coerce without triggering war, normalizing its control. Each incident tests the resolve of the Philippines and the United States as they balance deterrence with the risk of escalation. Energy interests and military maneuvers in the South China Sea are tightly linked. The quest for oil and gas drives the Philippines to seek stronger security guarantees, prompting greater U.S. involvement. China responds with its own military buildup, making energy exploration risky without protection. This cycle repeats, with each side escalating to protect its interests. Energy deals and defense strategy are now inseparable. Every investment decision carries geopolitical consequences. As long as the energy prize remains, the cycle of competition and brinkmanship continues. The future of the South China Sea stands at a crossroads, where every decision made today will echo for generations to come. One path leads to deeper U.S.-Philippines cooperation, forging a united front determined to deter Chinese aggression and protect shared interests. This alliance could create a tense but stable stalemate, where economic activity and vital trade routes coexist with constant military vigilance and watchful eyes. The other path is far riskier. A single miscalculation at sea could trigger open conflict, drawing in the United States and potentially escalating into a wider regional crisis. The outcome depends on whether diplomacy, dialogue, and compromise can prevail over confrontation and force. Can communication channels between nations stay open, even in moments of tension and uncertainty? Can regional bodies like ASEAN step up to help negotiate peace and foster understanding among all parties? The U.S.-Philippines Energy Alliance has redrawn the region's strategic map, shifting the balance of power and resources. It's given the Philippines the backing to stand up to a giant, but it has also raised the stakes and heightened the risks for everyone involved. The world watches closely, hoping for wisdom, restraint, and a peaceful resolution to this high-stakes standoff. The consequences of failure will be felt far beyond these contested waters, threatening global stability, economies, and the environment for years to come.